Welcome everyone to a brand new episode. It's a brand new week and a brand new episode of Virtually AWA. And it is time for our next pay-per-view event, Closed Season. I didn't realise it was coming up this soon, so I've had to book on the fly on this one. But I hope you enjoy the show nonetheless. So let's get into it then. We kick off with a pre-show match. We have the likes of Alex Rancid, Chris Cage, Connie Steele, Dickie Bowen, Phantasmo, Foxcatcher, John Allens, Johnny Rose, Lewis Blaine, Mark Billington, Monty Bird, Mr. X. Surprise entrant, the referee of course. P.T. Crockett, the owner himself, he's thrown himself in the mix for this one. Rio, Slapshot, Super Ninja, Thomas Billington, Thomas J. Curtis and Triple B. They're all in action. And in this pre-show battle royal, Foxcatcher won in 14 minutes and 44 seconds. The other members of the Final Four were Mark Billington, Triple B, and P.T. Crockett, the owner himself. Mark Billington being the final man eliminated before Foxcatcher picked up the win. Thomas Billington has subtle mannerisms to hint a future face turn. Can we finally do it? Oh no, it's good. We got a gimmick change for Bam Bam Booyah, aka Triple B. And we will see if it comes off now. Triple B is now using the Title Hunter gimmick, and it received an initial rating of adequate. This rating is likely to rise as the fans get used to the new gimmick. Basically, Triple B is going to become a cartoony hunter of sorts. He's going to be dressing up a bit like Crocodile Dundee as he hunts down some gold to wear around his waist. His gimmick was getting a bit stale, so I thought I'd change it to something a bit similar. He's good with cartoony gimmicks or a bit of a comedy gimmick, so this should work for him. That gets a rating of 26 as we move into the main show. We kick off with the camera panning around the room as the fans chant AWA, AWA, AWA. And P.T. Crockett is already in the ring, microphone in hand. He goes, "Welcome everybody to All-Star Wrestling Alliance. We hope you enjoy tonight's show." This gets a rating of 31. The angle got the crowd hotter as the show started, and it's a strong start for everyone involved. 31 rating. Great solid start from the owner himself. Fresh off his strong performance in that battle royal. Next up we have Tyson T-Bone, who we go back to the commercial break, come back, and we see Tyson T-Bone in the ring with the microphone himself. He claims he is so good that no one can defeat him, and he just wants a fight. So anyone in the back, come and get me, and I will take you out. This gets a rating of 42. That's very strong from Tyson T-Bone on the microphone. Tyson T-Bone clearly enjoyed having the freedom to go off script and performed well as a result, so we let him rip with the microphone. We didn't write the script for him. He just gave his opinion, and he came across really well in this. 42, solid from the man from Malvern. Next up in a decent match, Tyson T-Bone defeats Bully Boy Carter in 10 minutes and 6 seconds with a gypsy's kiss. Tyson T-Bone got a 34 for this match. Bully Boy Carter got a 25. The crowd got hotter as a result, a 30 overall. Tyson T-Bone is proving a really good acquisition for this company. I was informed by one of the wrestlers himself that Tyson T-Bone used to work for HCW, which is the company that became AWA down the line. So he is someone who is coming back to his roots, and he is really getting the best out of everyone else on the locker room here. 30 segment, solid start. Next up we have Connie Steele. We go backstage seeing her being interviewed. She's hyping up her match later tonight with her team at Steel Industries, Mike Cash and Tony Pacino, who will be taking on the tag team champions Blue Strike Force. If you remember a few weeks ago, the team of Blue Strike Force took on Tony Pacino and Mike Cash. It ended in a double disqualification as both teams lost their rag, with the referee throwing the match out. Well, the match is coming back again tonight at the pay-per-view, and we will see if there's a different result tonight. This gets a segment rating of 19. Decent start for this as we go into the next match. In a match that had decent reaction from the crowd and terrible wrestling, we had a ladder match which featured Alex Windsor, Athena Fury, Killer Kelly the champion, and Lacey James. And in a match that lasted 14 minutes and 43 seconds, Killer Kelly defended her women's championship for the second time, beating the likes of James, Fury and Windsor as she rose to the top of the ladder, picked the belt off the top and held it aloft. And Killer Kelly is still your AWA Women's Champion. They're all around the same sort of level at the moment, so that's good to see that we can put any of these in a title situation and we'll get a decent result. There's a change, let's see what it is. It's a gimmick change for Lacey James, let's see if it works well. Lacey James is now using Broken as a gimmick, and it received an initial rating of very good. This rating is likely to rise as well as they get used to a new gimmick. Gives a small penalty to star quality during match and angles. Oh, because she's unstable. Okay, I get. So I guess different gimmick types affect what sort of rating you get. So that's interesting to know. Losses do not hurt momentum as usual, and it gives a large boost to menace during angles. So we'll have to note that down for future reference. Basically, as we've seen, Lacey James, after she lost the title to Killer Kelly, has been slowly losing her mind. She's writing dark thoughts into a diary, and this just confirms that her character is changing as the story progresses. 15 rating overall, that's a bit disappointing. Let's have a look at the dirt sheet to see why we got such a low rating. She was penalised for a poor gimmick, Alex Windsor. We'll have to note that down. Lacey James was penalised again for an awful gimmick, but we've changed it now, so hopefully that changes in future matches. Segment rating was penalised because of an inappropriate match type for this. Yeah, ladder match is a bit too hardcore for a family-friendly audience. But ladder match seemed right because we didn't have that much of a storyline going into this pay-per-view, and I wanted to really get a exciting match on the card, so I'll have to note that down for future reference. After that, we have Blue Strike Force in the ring ahead of their tag team match. Rio, head of Renegade, comes out and she says, "We know that you have a match tonight against Connie's Steel Industries, but I think what the crowd wants is a triple threat match. So put my team Renegade in as well." And Dan Striker and Blue Tiger look at to each other, they nod and they accept the challenge. Tonight's tag team title match is now a triple threat match with Renegade, Blue Strike Force and Steel Industries, and that match is coming up next. This gets us rating of 25, solid performance from all these three involved, and we'll get into that match now. In a bout that had decent reaction from the crowd but subpar wrestling, Steel Industries have defeated Blue Strike Force, the champions, and Renegade in 15 minutes and 15 seconds. The order of elimination was Blue Strike Force first, and then Renegade. During the match we also had Connie Steele run in and attack Blue Tiger, which involved Blue Tiger getting dumped off the top rope and through a table at ringside, which took him out of the match, and then Dan Striker was double teamed and he lost the belts for his team. Blue Tiger just out unconscious on the table as he was being attended to by medical staff. And then Steel Industries managed to pick up the win against Renegade, the ones who threw themselves into the match late on. And surprisingly, we have new tag team champions here at closed season. This gets a rating of 25 overall. The likes of Blue Tiger and Dan Striker got 25 and 26 between them. Hydrosis and Soul Killer 21 and 25. Tony Pacino and Mike Cash 23 and 29. Hydrosis was off his game, and as it says, Blue Tiger took that stump bump through the table, through the match, which led to the ultimate finish of this one. So you've got Mike Cash and Tony Pacino taking the title belts away from Blue Strike Force, who have taken and added prestige to the titles as they've held them for a long time now here in the company. We've got new champions, and Connie Steele has her first piece of gold in her new stable, Steel Industries. That's a 25 rating. Next up we have the main event, the one everyone's been looking forward to. Kip Sabian defending the Commonwealth Championship against the former champion Nick Flag. And in a match that had decent reaction from the crowd and subpar wrestling, Kip Sabian defeats Nick Flag in 19 minutes and 56 seconds by pinfall with a springboard dropkick. Kip Sabian makes defense number 1 of his AWA Commonwealth Championship title. Kip Sabian got a rating of 30 for this, Nick Flag got a 23. Kip Sabian was off his game, but despite that got a 30 rating. This match was a little long for our audience, I'll have to take that in mind for future reference. I thought I wanted to build slowly for this one. It's obviously a massive title match, a rematch with Nick Flag, the former champion, so I wanted to give it time on the pay-per-view, so I'll have to reduce it. I think I gave it a good 20 minutes, so maybe cut it down to about 17 or 18 minutes in the future for big title matches. But nonetheless, this got a 23 rating, solid to end the show. But I don't think we're done there, as Kip Sabian is celebrating in the ring. Nick Flag has walked to the back. He's distraught again after coming up short against Kip Sabian. Kip Sabian, massive smile on his face. Thomas J. Curtis ringside, just clapping his clients. The network retains the title once again. But as Kip Sabian is celebrating, someone comes from the back. And as it says, he is celebrating as after a hard-fought victory over Nick Flag. Chris Cage, the modern-day Savage, one of the former AWA Commonwealth champions, comes from the back, gets into the ring and stares down Kip Sabian. They're going face to face as the show goes off the air. This gets a 20 rating to end the show. Solid from these two. And this looks like Kip Sabian's next opponent has revealed himself. We end the show. We get a rating of 27. I think that's one of our strongest performances on a pay-per-view to date. If that's not true, let me know in the comments. And we've been doing a lot of these, so they do blur together after a while. But this is a very strong show. We kicked it off, of course, with that introduction from P.T. Crockett. We had that very, very strong promo from Tyson T-Bone before he beat Bully Boy Carter. You had Connie Steele hyping up the tag team match. You had Killer Kelly defend her women's title in a ladder match. Blue Strike Force lost their tag team titles to Steel Industries in a triple threat tag team match. And then Kip Sabian ended the show defending the AWA Commonwealth Championship before Chris Cage came out to confront him. This gets a rating overall of 27, as I said. The show increases our popularity in 14 regions. Strong performance from everyone involved. I'll handle the speeches off camera because you don't need to worry about that. I'm just going to praise the ones that got involved. So Tyson T-Bone, presumably. Who else did really well today? Kip Sabian and probably Killer Kelly after she defends her women's title. That's all for this week's show. I hope you've enjoyed the pay-per-view. We'll come back again soon for the next episode of our TV show, British Wrestling Weekly. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.